In this video, I will give you my overall verdict along with what I consider to be the main pros and cons of the Fairywill E11 electric toothbrush. Hey, it's John here from electricteeth. We assist you in selecting the right dental care products and understanding common dental healthcare topics. Just before I give you my overall opinion on the E11, I want you to know that as not or if not more important than the toothbrush itself is how long you brush for, how often you brush for, and the technique that you use. Linked in the top right corner is our guide to taking care of your teeth. It includes all of the important things that you need to know. And for those of you looking to make your oral care routine more sustainable, there's a link in the description for that too. So then to my overall verdict on the Fairywill E11. The Fairywill E11 is an excellent toothbrush and alarmingly good value for money. You'll be hard pushed to find something that offers so much and cleans so well but costs so little. A travel case would have been a nice addition in the box, but considering what you get for the price, it's hard to find fault with the E11. Is the potential catch the long-term reliability? If you want more detail, be sure to check out the full written review that accompanies this video, linked in the description or up here in the top right corner. So then to the pros of the Fairywill E11, and the first has to be the lightweight design. This is noticeably lighter than most other electric toothbrushes, and I'm not entirely sure how Fairywill do it. I think it must be linked to the motor inside. It's of plastic construction like most other electric toothbrushes, but you can certainly notice how light it feels in hand, and younger children as well as older adults will certainly appreciate the lightweight design that they have built in here. So the next pro is the 5 different cleaning modes. Now you certainly don't need 5 different cleaning modes, but for the most comprehensive brusher you have the choices here. So from a standard clean through to a more gentle mode, it's available for you. Each of the modes are labelled on the front of the handle, and there's an LED that lights up when the appropriate mode is selected. So you've got nice choice there, and that alternates the amount of speed and power through the bristles of the brush head, so you can get the best brushing sensation for you. There's a built-in timer and pacer, so that encourages you to brush for the dentist's recommended 2 minutes and to do so evenly. So you spend 30 seconds cleaning each quadrant. At the end of the 2 minutes, you'll actually have the brush automatically power off, and that's a clear sign that your brushing cycle is complete. If your brush doesn't automatically turn off, you haven't brushed for long enough. So another pro with the E11 is the battery life. You get around about a month's worth of battery life. There are different claims of how much battery life you get from this brush. Fairywill themselves have suggested 25 days in some places and 30 days in another. In my hands-on testing on the standard clean mode, I achieved 28 days on a full charge, which is more than acceptable. At 4 weeks there, that's perfectly adequate for most people. And then a real benefit around the battery life is the charging. So it does have a detachable USB cable with proprietary barrel pin connector on the bottom here. It makes charging very convenient, so you can charge it up from a USB socket on a computer, a wall plug if you like, and it charges in just 2 hours. So 2 hours charge and 4 weeks of use is very impressive indeed. So the final major pro has to be the value for money that this electric toothbrush offers. Now the exact prices do vary depending on where you are in the world, but taking the US and UK as an example, the price of the E11 is typically half that of your average electric toothbrush. Now that is based on a 3-year price period, so that's factoring in the cost of replacement brush heads, because you actually get 8 brush heads included in the box with the E11, and that offers exceptional value for money. So the initial purchase price may be slightly more aligned with a typical electric toothbrush, but when you factor in the cost of replacement brush heads for most major brands, that's going to put their prices much higher, and the E11 typically comes in at around about half the cost. In the US, we recommend the Oral-B Smart 1500, and in the UK, we recommend the Oral-B Pro 22500. And in both instances, the E11 is basically half the cost, and it is really hard to argue with the exceptional value for money that you'll get from this brush. I don't think I've come across an electric toothbrush that performs as well and is as cheap as this. Now then to the cons, and to be truthful, there aren't many. The first con is the lack of a pressure sensor. It's all too common to brush your teeth with too much force, and some toothbrushes will alert you when you're brushing too hard. The E11 doesn't have any mechanism to alert you, so just bear in mind that you do have to skim the teeth with the toothbrush. You don't need to brush with lots of force. Brushing with lots of force does not result in a better clean. So another con is the charging port on the base of the electric toothbrush. Now, this might not be a big issue for all, but I am a little bit wary about it being on the bottom. I think it's going to come into contact with water. It's all too easy to sit in a little puddle of water in the bathroom, and potentially over the long term, it may cause some issues. Now, I've certainly not experienced any issues with my hands-on testing, but I do wonder in sort of a year or 2 years' time, will this maybe potentially corrode? Might there be some issues around the charging? Only time will ultimately tell. I know a number of other Fairywills do use this mechanism, and I've not seen too many complaints, but I just worry about that more than anything being on the bottom of the brush handle, and for some they might not like lying their brush down to actually charge it. Another small con is around like cleaning of this toothbrush. It's easy to wipe clean, but the configuration of the brush head means that there's a little bit of a lip around the top of the handle here, and you can get toothpaste build up down the actual handle or the top here. It just builds up a little bit more than some of the other toothbrushes I've used. It's easily wiped away. And another very small, it's not really a con, just something to be aware of, is the fact that this actual shaft of the brush head is a little bit wider than the likes of Oral-B and Sonicare. So when I was brushing, I was actually finding that I made contact with my teeth more often with this. I had to actually open my mouth a little bit wider to gain a good control of the toothbrush and not have this chatter against my teeth as I was actually using the toothbrush. Now, the last and final con has to be around the quality. Now, I'm saying this as a con. I've got nothing that says or confirms that there is issues with quality, but I do wonder long term if there is a potential issue with the reliability of the brush, given it's so cheap. Now, you do get a 1-year manufacturer's warranty as standard. Most other electric toothbrushes do come with a 2-year warranty. If you go online, you can register this and get an additional 6 months, but you do have to register to get that additional 6 months. And it still falls short of the 2 years that most other manufacturers offer. Most people are very happy, and I would argue if this failed in 2 years' time, you've probably had your value for money from it. But I do worry that the cost savings result in the long-term reliability of this electric toothbrush. So there we have it. That's my overall opinion on the Fairywill E11. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you found it useful. Click here to subscribe for more videos. Click here to get tips and tricks on how to improve your oral health care.